There you are. So what did you pick? So you want to play Devil's Third?
Yeah.
Marty, this seems to
No.
This seems to have a lot of violence in it.
I can handle it.
I just don't think you're mature enough for it, though.
I want to play this game. Everyone says it's better than Devil's First and Devil's Second.
Marty, there's no Devil's First and Devil's Second.
Well, I read that. But anyway, I can play this game. I want to play this game.
No, I think you're gonna have to be a little bit more mature for this.
Dad, I'm mature.
No.
I can play this.
No. No. Go pick something else. Oh, now you're mad, Martigan? See what I did there, Marty?
Lame. Hey, you did.
Hey, did you come straight from the underpound?
I did.
Yeah?
Sure did. Yep.
Yeah, you like your oatmeal lumpy?
Yep.
So, what brings you here?
I was just coming to play a game with my dad, see?
Oh, you're not making any music now?
No, not currently, no. I do have the one album that dropped.
Yeah, what album was that?
It's called Tug Life.
Oh,
It's hard hitting.
Not Thug Life.
No, Tug Life.
Oh, Tug Life.
Hard loving, straight tugging.
Oh, wow. It's great. So, so can I call you
Sure.
Martigan still, or?
No, well, I mean, you can because you're my dad, but maybe you should try out my new name.
Oh, and what name is that?
It's my moniker.
Okay.
It's Tupac.
Oh, no, okay, I see,
Yeah.
Tupac. Well, okay, well, Tupac,
I'm in the game now, Dad.
what do you want to play now,
I want
Tupac?
to play this game.
The same one?
Yeah.
Oh, because you're
Look how
mature.
much mature I am now. I'm way more mature.
Yeah, I guess you are. Well, if I let you play this,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, you're gonna let me play.
you're not going to tell Mom, right?
No, wait, why would I tell her?
Okay.
Pose.
All right, let's play it then. Come on, let's do it.
Yes, yay, Dad.
The Wii U. It was the console that I believe was going to be the next Dreamcast. An underestimated powerhouse, a secret that only a select few would own and cherish. Well, it's 2018 and 62 retail games purchased later, and I can tell you my opinion has changed. Although I still think the system had potential, it's really not worth owning unless you like to collect. Of the games I have, few have remained exclusive, and now there are at least 9 re-release titles on the Switch. There is one game, though, that I'm predicting is going to remain on the Wii U, and today I shall be reviewing it. Devil's Third. This game was coming from developer Valhalla Studio and director Tomonobu Itagaki, the man behind the Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive games on Xbox. When I found this out, I was like, this is what the Wii U needs. This game is going to sell well and get other third-party developers to make games for the system. The Wii U shall be a force with whom to be reckoned. I didn't waste my money on this system. No, sir. I'm the smart one here. I remember not hearing much about the game while in development. Here and there it would be mentioned on gaming sites, but never anything significant. When it was finally released on December 11th, 2015, it was instantly slammed by critics. Gaming sites were saying the game would be in short supply, so I snatched that baby up at a full $60 thinking it would be an underappreciated game with some slight flaws. So now in 2018, I'm finally getting around to playing it. Underappreciated game with some slight flaws? Well, let's start with the story. You play as Ivan, a Russian bad guy working for a terrorist organization called the School of Democracy, or SOD for short. He turns his back on the group after they decide to kill some children on a job. He is then imprisoned by the US government, but is temporarily released to fight the SOD. It's a little Escape from New York-ish, but it works. His prison cell's pretty nice. Well, more like a single-room apartment with a security door. But anyways, he gets tasked with stopping the SOD after they destroy a bunch of satellites, which causes an EMP blast to knock out all the electronics in the world. There's more to this story, but it's really not that important. You kill bad guys wanting to take control of the world. Before I move on to graphics, I need to talk about Ivan's character model. Ivan is the coolest character ever made. He's shirtless the entire time with his body being covered in Sanskrit symbols. Yes, Sanskrit. I had to look this up. He drinks, smokes, plays drums, and to top it off, he wears aviators that never get removed, even in the heat of battle. He kind of looks like a creative character from a wrestling game. The graphics in this game are kind of hit and miss. Character models animate well, and models of Ivan and the bosses look good, but the outdoor environments can really be bad sometimes. If this was to keep the game's frame rate in check, then I would have been happy with everything else in the game looking that bad, but more on that later. I do like the blood splatter in the game. It'll hit the walls and run down, which is always a nice touch with a game this violent. It does, however, disappear after a few seconds, which kind of ruins the effect. The death animations for melee weapons are great. I was surprised by how many finishers that were packed into the game. Slice a guy in half, put an axe through someone's head, it's all pretty good. Every death animation from a gun results in a head, arm, leg, and torso being separated from the rest of the body. It is completely silly and awesome. It is as if all the bullets fired in this game are .50 caliber. Overall, the graphics are okay, but I think they could have done a lot better with the environments. With the music, there's really not much to say here. From the first level starting with this annoying electronic music, to one of the later levels sounding like they ripped the audio from one of the old Army-Men games. It seems the game's score was not really high on their priorities. Other levels do a little bit better with an action movie type score with sections of the music relating to the area that you're in, but overall it's completely forgettable. The sound effects are your run-of-the-mill third-person action game effects. Gunshots sound okay, but they lack bass. Melee weapons sound okay as well. It does annoy me, however, when enemies are decapitated in Devil's Third and still scream. It's like movies that have sound in outer space. It's a vacuum. There's no sound. The voice acting is pretty good. It tries to be over the top and silly like a bad action movie, but I think it worked for the most part. Some of the dialogue from the regular enemies is pretty bad, but I wonder if this was intentional to kind of fit in with the silly bad action movie theme.
End up in line, bro.
Damn. That guy sure knows how to clear a room.
I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked the gameplay. The game blends Ninja Gaiden swordplay with Call of Duty shooting. 1 second you're slicing a guy in half in third person, and the next you're gunning someone down in first person view. With the melee combat, every single weapon feels unique, with different damage and speed characteristics. Your character has a slight and heavy attack which you can use to combine for simple combos. And when I say simple, I mean really simple. This is an area where they could have definitely improved. Let the player learn new combos and make enemies vulnerable to certain types of attacks. The game does force you to block and dodge from time to time, but that is the extent to the melee combat. And as much as I love the switch between shooting and melee combat, it becomes obvious very early on that the combat is a one-sided affair. With exception to bosses, every enemy can be quickly dispatched with a gun, making the melee weapons almost useless. Sometimes attacking with a melee weapon was easier, but this becomes rare towards the second half of the game. I expected some enemies to only be defeatable with melee weapons, but that was never the case. Slice them repeatedly with a sword with the potential to be hit by another enemy, or shoot them once and move on. Devil's Third does have random segments that try to mix things up, such as banning big turrets to destroy waves of enemies, scanning for explosives, and a vehicle chase down a snowy mountain. And why did they make bats an enemy in this game? They are annoying and pointless, just stuck there to piss you off. They're only in a few sections, yes, but they just got to me. They're kind of like the Krill in Gears of War. Okay, now for the main problem with the game, and that's frame rate. There are a lot of things that seem to affect it. Large environments, a lot of enemies on screen at once, and graphical effects tend to cause the game to stutter. Anytime there's an explosion or fire effects, the game comes crashing down. I don't have any software to do a frame rate analysis, but it feels like it's dropping into the teens. Also, switching between third and first person view can kill the frame rate. You can be slicing guys left and right while running and everything is smooth, but as soon as you aim your gun in first person view, the game will have this massive stutter. The frame rate comes back up after a second, but it's so jarring. I also noticed the game will begin to stutter when it loads a new section. You will see textures disappearing and reappearing before the game finally stabilizes. I don't know why they didn't just have a quick loading screen or an in-game cutscene. I would rather that than the game stuttering along while everything is being loaded. And look, I am never a big stickler for jumps in frame rate. I grew up in the Nintendo 64, the king of shitty frame rates. But this game really bothered me. Devil's Third was also a lot easier than I thought it would be. I died more than I should have, but not nearly as much as something like Ninja Gaiden. It was not too easy, but I expected a little bit more challenge from this type of game. Despite all my criticisms, I think the game is worth a play. It's stupid, simple fun. I was able to finish the game in about 7 hours, which for me was long enough for it not to become monotonous. Is it worth $60? No. Is it worth $30? Probably not. To me, it's a $20 game, although currently the game seems to be going between $50 and $80 online, so hopefully that'll come down eventually. Maybe they'll consider remastering this for the PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch. Fix the frame rate, add HD textures, fix the balancing of the sword and gunplay, increase the difficulty, or at least give the option, and you could have quite a little game on your hands. Are they going to do this? Probably not. I would be interested to see this game running on a Wii U emulator. I think brute forcing the game into a solid 30 or 60 frames per second if possible would do this game wonders.
This is me. Am I this guy? What the? Oh, oh, hiya. Oh, crunch up. Hiya. Oh, touch tree. Oh, ow. This game. Oh, okay. I just keep going. Oh, am I dead? Is that it? Oh.